Music to me is as crucial as fire was to man. Where fire was that first discovery, that first game changer. I felt the same way when sitting with my father late at night, listening to old 80s songs and mid 2000s rock. Music defines all who listen to it, and thus defines who I am as a person. I know on this channel I'm known for a lot more memey videos and barnyard and everything like that, but I wanted to take some time to be serious and talk about some of the albums and songs and soundtracks that define my listening experience. I'll be talking about 4 albums today, one of which will be a soundtrack to a video game, and I'll be talking about 3 songs from albums which I haven't listened to all the way through, but they're my favourite songs thus far. And although I won't be going Anthony Fantano on these albums, I will be talking about maybe just a little bit of the production, the psyche of the artists, and mainly in general just what it means to me. And without further ado, this is what these 4 albums, or what music, means to me. Everyone has an A to B, whether it be walk from one place to the other, starting a hobby to get better. Everyone has a point from where they started to get to where they are, or where they want to be. And in my music journey, that point started with the 5th studio album from Muse, The Resistance. I came across Muse and thus the album late one night in my early teens. My dad had put on Uprising, and I was immediately hooked by the drone of the bass and the riff of the guitar. I immediately knew that I was into this kind of music, which was a shock, because I wasn't really into music back then. I was into games. I was playing video games almost every single night, and wasn't even paying attention to soundtracks or music. Whatever was played on the radio was just what I'd listen to. I didn't have a taste, I just had ears, and I'd listen. This album provides a beautiful war-torn story with beautiful pieces of alternative rock mixed with hard synths and classical piano. But for me, it was the start of my journey. It defined my tastes, my likes, my dislikes, and moreover, it brought me closer to my dad. I have a nostalgic bond with this album, but past that, it's a beautiful mix of loud pieces of rock with calm pieces of piano and melancholy. And in my opinion, it's a must-listen for the band. My top 3 picks from the album would be Resistance, Uprising, and the number 1 pick, United States of Eurasia plus Collateral Damage, ending in a beautiful piano piece, which draws beautifully into the next song. When lockdown began, I had ended college, and I was in a very vulnerable state in my life. I felt like a bad guy. I had just ended a relationship where all of it was my fault. After that breakup, I was confused, and this album was like comfort food, a way to digest my insecurities and lose myself in amazing production and lyricism. That album is My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy by Kanye West. Now, what hasn't been said about this album? Hearing tracks like Runaway and Devil in a New Dress helped me link how I was feeling to myself. Kanye has a beautiful way of forging his psyche into his work, and it shows on this album. From the beautiful production on songs like Gorgeous, to the lyricism on Runaway, to the final heart-palpitating, high-tempo track, Who Will Survive in America. This album is downright perfection, and I couldn't have asked for a better comfort album to help me grow into a better man. And even though I am past that point, and I believe myself to be of wiser mind than I was back then, I come back to this album because I just think it's beautiful in a dark and twisted way. My top 3 choices from this album would be Power, Runaway, and my number 1 pick, Devil in a New Dress. There will always be something about David Byrne, be it the way he performs or the way he sings, that will make me overjoyed. His mannerisms and introverted style is something I can closely relate to, and in their live tour start making sense. These mannerisms come through clearly through the music. You thought I was going to say Remain in Light, didn't you? A band that has covered almost all genres on planet Earth. Talking Heads on this live album pull out all the stops in bringing their songs to life. Be that through the beautiful live rendition of Heaven from Fear of Music, to the almost gospel version of Take Me to the River, and ending it on Cross-Eyed and Painless, dragging you in with what seems to be a slowed down, funk-like rendition of the track, before punching you in the gut and blasting the tempo to the stratosphere. My favourite track though has to be the chaotic live version of Life During Wartime, which blows its studio version out of the water with a funk-driven style and much more messy chorus and keyboard solos that make my hair stand on end. The raw passion in this track is almost palpable. God, I love Talking Heads. My top 3 picks from this album would be Take Me to the River, Cross-Eyed and Painless, and of course, my number 1 pick, Life During Wartime. Comedy. Comedy can take all forms, and music is no exception. From Tenacious D to The Lonely Island, comedy music has thrived for years. But my pick is a more personal undertone. I started listening to Ninja Sex Party when I was in high school, at the end of year 11. Times were hard. Divorce, moving, I felt scared and frustrated. All I wanted to do was laugh and be happy. And that's what Ninja Sex Party's 3rd studio album, Attitude City, provided me. From the aforementioned title track Attitude City to songs like Road Trip and Dragon Slayer and the comedy epic 6969, all I needed was a laugh, and Ninja Sex Party provided that. Now, it isn't production savvy or serious at all. I'd like to mention that under the cover series, if you would like a more serious musical tone, but if you wish to laugh at a fictional man and his ninja friend failing to get laid, and especially if you just need a laugh in trying times such as these, then I recommend this album to you. Hell, I recommend their entire discography. My top 3 picks from this album would be Road Trip, 6969, and my number 1 pick, Attitude City. As human beings, we thrive on nostalgia. The feeling of better times, calm experiences gathered around a games console and playing your favourite childhood game. Barnyard is that game for me, and this soundtrack is the music to my childhood. Hey everyone, just a little edit here. I say Ben's Hill in this. I meant to say Ben's Death. It is the Ben's Death theme, not the Hill theme. I apologise. Although some tracks take the main theme sound rough due to its age and production, so many tracks in here provide a calming background experience. Be it the bike theme, biking around an open world to a almost free-like sense of joy that the track provides, to the soothing guitar on Ben's Hill, or even just a plucky day theme which makes you want to sit on the porch, wheat strand in mouth, looking over the land. There is something beautiful about how this game makes me feel, and the soundtrack is no exception. Move over, The Last of Us. This is the king of video game soundtracks. My top picks for this would be Day Theme 1, Ben's Hill, and Bike Theme 1. And there are the 4 albums. Now I'm going to quickly go over 3 songs which I just love, be it fast, slow, or a different country. These 3 songs just speak to me, and I can't wait to listen to the rest of the albums they're from. Radiohead is a band that almost everyone knows, synonymous with their amazing styles and twists in genre. In Rainbows is no exception, and Faust Arp is my favourite Radiohead song. It's like listening to a man ramble while you drift off to sleep. And that guitar, that beautiful acoustic guitar, just makes me wish the song was longer. You know, you can choose any song from any Radiohead album and you could be correct in saying it's the best. And this is my pick. This duo from Atlanta is known for how they changed the rap game with their albums like Atlians and Aquemini. Bombs Over Baghdad is such an amazing track. Fast-paced hip-hop done right. Outkast is untouchable, and this song shows it. A chaotic mix of alternative hip-hop, rap, and rock. It's a must listen. Now, I haven't been a big fan of K-pop, but J-pop is something I would listen to frequently. And Stay With Me by Miki Matsubara, sorry if I have messed that up, is a beautiful 80s J-pop song. It's groovy with a real catchy bass line that you can just tap your toes to. And my lord, that chorus mixed with her breathtaking vocals. The song is just perfection for those who want to feel nostalgic for a time they weren't even around for. Music is for everyone. It doesn't pick, it doesn't choose, it doesn't discriminate. It holds everyone in a warm embrace and tells them to sit and listen to the stories it has to tell. Music, for me, is an escape. It's a way to tell stories, it's a way to laugh, it's a way to feel for better times. It's a way to sleep, to tap your feet, to get up and dance, to get up and run like songs have just filled you with an adrenaline shot. And it's a way to make you feel like you should have been around for something that you weren't around for. Music makes you nostalgic for places you've never been, for times you weren't around in. Music is beautiful. And what music is to me, that doesn't matter. What matters is what music has done for me. And it's done more than I could ever be thankful for. Thank you all for listening.